Hi everyone, it's Josh, and in this video I'm going to be talking about my time in e-commerce, starting from when I was 16 and now I am at 22 running what is essentially £1 million a year Amazon FBA business. It's been a long struggle. It's not an overnight success by any stretch of the imagination. It's been an immense amount of work. But before I get into that and talk about my story, what I've learned, what I will do differently again, I'm just going to show you my Amazon sales figures because there's a lot of BS on this website and I want to cut through that. I just want to show you my pure figures.
So guys, you're the computer screen we were at before. As you can see, what I've done is, that is today's date and just a year back. I'm going to show you my three main accounts. It's worth noticing I actually have a lot more accounts because I do a lot of joint ventures with people. Someone comes to me and says, I've got this great idea, can you fund it? Can you help me get it to market? Can I essentially consult for a share of the ownership of the company? I do a lot of that, but I'm only going to show you the three accounts that I own completely myself today. This one has £500,000. This one has nearly 100,000 in euros, and this account has got an absolute ton of expansion to do. And this one has nearly 300,000 in US dollars, and that has an immense amount of growth left in it. We literally have about another 20 SKUs heading over there, and there's only about 10 SKUs on it now, so that account is going to grow massively. When you do a rough translation, that translates to just over $1 million US dollars a year in annual revenue.
So $1 million a year in US dollars is actually quite a significant amount of revenue. And it's actually quite the achievement. It really does take a long time to get there. What I'm going to say now is subscribe, because I'm doing an informational video every single day for the next month. So I'm going to be giving you 3 knowledge bombs in effect. Comment and just like the video. But I'm now going to get on to my more kind of entrepreneurial struggle of what it really took for me to actually get here, because it really was quite a long endeavour. I started when I was 16. As most people do. Most people do start this quite young. My first business was buying multi-packs of chocolate at school and selling them. I would go and buy a 4-pack of multi-bars for £1 and I'd sell them for 50p each, essentially doubling my money. I'm a fat guy. I ate half of them, I'm not going to lie, that really did affect the profits. But my point was, that was my first ever business thing I did. That was the first ever time I took my own initiative on myself to actually make me some money. My next kind of entrepreneurial endeavour was the money I made from selling chocolates at school. I went on Alibaba, I bought 1,000 iPhone cases, and they were, they had some nice colours to them. I thought they'd go well. iPhone 3G, I think, at the time, because we're going back a few years now. And what I did was I put them on eBay, and I sold 2. It was a literal unmitigated disaster. I lost pretty much all the money that I saved up in selling chocolates every single day, and I came so close to losing everything, and just, well, you say losing everything, but really just losing up on my ambition to actually build an e-commerce business. An eBay isn't a great platform. We'll get into that in some of my later videos, and Amazon is far superior. But still, it really set me back in terms of mindset. It really took me a good year before I actually made my next move. At 17, I came up with a bit of a better idea. Instead of selling an item which was so competitive, I sold things that people wanted. I came up with the idea of just going to car boot sales, and I would go up to someone that had an entire tray out, and I would say, how much for this whole tray? And then they would say something like £100 or something ridiculous for 100 DVDs. And I'd go back at the end of the day and I'd offer £20 for 100 DVDs, and I'd buy these for essentially like 20 pence each. Then what I would do was I would go and list them on eBay. Now, sure, half of them are junk, but half of them I might get £3-4 for. Once you've took away the shipping, you're netting about £2 an item, you can actually make some good money doing this. It was at this point I actually began to look at ways to actually increase the amount I was selling them for. So I looked into Amazon, because things tend to sell for more on Amazon than they do on eBay. So, as a lot of you know, you have to be 18 to sell on Amazon. So I was 18 when I actually made my Amazon selling account. You're meant to be with eBay, but they're far less stringent on it, as pretty much everyone knows, as Amazon actually enforce real ID checks. So I was 18 when I set my Amazon account, and I started selling DVDs and video games, Xbox 360 at the time. And the biggest issue I had with that was the fact that I got lots of authenticity complaints. And the truth was, I couldn't prove to Amazon that what I was selling was legitimate. And that was because I was just buying them as car boot sales and selling them as used. There's no way for me to be able to verify that to Amazon as the intermediary, that they are genuine items. And as a result, that kind of ended my Amazon adventure for the next 6 months. On top of that, the DVD industry shut down because you had the rise of Netflix, and so did video games. Most people transitioned over to Steam. Now, At this point, I'm getting to my late 18s, and I actually played this quite smart. I actually saved most of the money I made on DVDs, so I actually had about £20,000 saved up. And I was able to go to the bank, because I'm now over 18 and officially adult. I was actually able to get a loan for another, I think it was £7,500. And with that money, what I did was I actually transitioned to wholesaling on Amazon. So I found 3 suppliers and had an agreement with a local firm that they would label them up with FBA labels and they would ship them to Amazon. This really attracted me because this was repeatable revenue. I was able to get more of this item on demand, unlike going to a car boot sale where, in effect, my selection is as good as just what's available on the day. This is repeating, reoccurring revenue because you can just go back to the supplier and order more next month. So I got kind of addicted to this, and I got very complacent, to be honest with you. My revenue at this time was about $20,000 a month, and that's a fraction of what it is now. But what I did was I had a decent, healthy margin on that, and to be honest, I then went to university, and I got extremely complacent, and what happened was my expenditure kept like this, and my sales revenue inevitably went like this because I was paying zero attention to it. And as a result, I got myself into a little bit of a predicament where I ran really short of money. And I literally had to start again at age 19. And that's why, even though, officially I did start with about £20,000, I started again a year and a half later with about 2,000 and actually made a hell of a lot better of a success of it just because of the knowledge I'd actually learned. And that's why I'm a big believer that actually learning the industry is more important than the amount of money you start off with. So at this point, I had to get quite smart because I had no money and needed to expand my business and actually just have the money to run it day to day. So what I did was I went to my 3 big suppliers and I said, can you put me on credit terms? And they said, no. Then I stopped buying the product and they said, okay, have credit. So then I expanded with them, and over the next year I went hell to leather on it, and I increased that revenue on that account to about $60,000 a month. Which is quite the achievement, to be honest with you. But I didn't stop there this time. I reinvested every single penny back in. I launched in Germany. Now we started in the USA, which is a great market, and we're on track to actually double what we did last year this year, which is just, utterly fantastic. But more importantly, what it's worth remembering is that it took me 6 years. It took me from 16 to 22. But in reality, it didn't. I started from nothing again and made it back to $1 million a year in revenue in about 24 months, which, to be honest, it really is incredible. And that is a fantastic thing about using Amazon and FBA. When I say I've sold on Amazon, I've always used FBA. I've never once done merchant fulfilled. I just don't believe in it. And Amazon FBA is where you send an item into Amazon, then they sell and deliver that to the customer. By the same token, you do actually still have to prepare items for sale on Amazon. And, this is where I sometimes look back at what I've done and realise how much things have grown in the last 2 years. So I'm now at a point where I'm doing $1 million+ a year in revenue. I have 4 employees. Some of them are virtual assistants, which, is fantastic. I have 2 physical warehouses, which I use to store products and prepare items for FBA. I also prepare items for FBA for other sellers that I just know on more of a friendly term basis, and I charge them a small amount of money to do that. But you've got to remember that this isn't an overnight success. There's a lot of this on YouTube. If I went and I sold on Amazon and I'm driving around in my Lamborghini Ferrari the next day, but it's just not realistic. It really isn't. At the very least, you really do just have to make that decision just to go for it. As I said in my last video, I've just made my Amazon FBA course. I believe it's the best course on the market just because of the pure detail it goes into, and we have over 110 videos on it. And we've got text, we've got quizzes, so you don't actually have to watch the video and listen to my voice if you don't want to, which is completely understandable. As I mentioned in the last video, we're still running that 25% off promo probably for the next month, to be honest. So no rush if you can't get it now, get it in the next month, you'll get the good deal. What I would do though is I'll say subscribe. Because for the next month, I'm going to be doing an upload every single day. And I'm just going to be sharing a tip or trick that I've learned doing Amazon. So I'm going to take you behind the scenes of my warehouse. I'm going to introduce you to some of the people I've helped. We're going to look at reprices. We're going to look at how to save money on transaction fees. All the stuff that you should know before going in, I'm going to teach you. So really, if you've got a bit of free time, give that course a check out. But more importantly, make sure you subscribe, like the video, so you get notifications of when we upload, so you can make sure you're in the knowledge. More importantly, leave a comment. Any subject on Amazon FBA you want me to discuss, write a comment about it and I will make a video addressing that comment.